G'day everybody. All of my sheep poo's gone. What's going on? Anyway, let's have a look. Let's get growing. So this is what's happened to the sheep poo. These are potato beds. So I know it's a bit early for potatoes here, but I tend to not worry too much about sticking to schedules, see what grows. There is a frost issue with these, but I do have a plan to deal with any frost. We don't have a lot here, so I will hopefully be able to alleviate any issues with any frost. So what we've got going on here is I've got 3 different varieties of potatoes. The potatoes in these couple of low beds are determinate potatoes, and in the pallet collar beds they're indeterminate potatoes. So for those of you who may or may not be aware, a determinate potato or tomato is something that pretty much is a bush type and grows to a particular height. So these ones will grow their spuds from one spot under the ground, the foliage will come up and they will spread out underneath, and you'll fill the bed with boxes, fill the boxes with spuds. So these 2 beds here, we have red royals here, and we have kiflers here. So this box and this mound, and this is just a little trial to see which way is the easiest and best way to do it. So it's an old pallet collar and a mound, and then this one's same, just a bit of a pallet box and a mound. What I've done is I've put some weather damaged lucerne hay or alfalfa hay for the Americans amongst us watching. Layer of that, put the spuds on that, and then lay the sheep poo over the top of them. So red royals in that pile and that box, kiflers in that pile and that box, and in the pallet collars these are indeterminate potatoes. So these are the ones that you keep mounding up, and as they grow up through the soil they'll keep spreading out with spuds. And these ones are russet Burbanks. And I have, as of yesterday, I've scored a couple more pallet collars. So I'll be able to take these at least 3 high. So once they come through, I'll put some more straw in around them, let them grow through the straw, put more sheep poo over the top of that, and then I'll put another layer of boxes on. And then to harvest, I'll just be able to pull the boxes off. That's the plan anyway. So that's the spuds. They're in. So the pea and bean tubs I've done a little bit of work on. I've got some droppers here now to make the trellis for the peas. The radishes are going quite nicely in here, which is good. I'm going to have at least a few days, probably a week or so, without having a radish in the morning, because my succession planning was a little bit off, which it was last time as well, but hopefully I'm getting better because I already have the next lot of radishes in the ground. So I've also transplanted some of the silver beet or Swiss chard, which I think it is. I'm pretty sure that one is, but these ones may be beetroot. The red, and it's quite possible because the beetroot was growing right alongside the Swiss chard, and I just grabbed a handful of seeds, so I could have got anything. But we'll see as they grow. It'll either be rainbow chard or Supervisor Sammy is here. And then over here on the bean patch I've done the same. We've still got the radishes coming through there, but I've also put some silver beet / beetroot / Swiss chard in with them. The bed now is planted out. I may sneak some radishes in here somewhere, just to a quick crop, but I've got parsnips, swedes, and under the cardboard carrots. Just the cardboard just keeps them wet for a bit longer, and carrots, I've been doing it for a little while and seem to get a better strike, so I just keep doing it. No harm, no foul. So that stays on for about 10 days, 2 weeks, or until I see the little carrot seedlings starting to emerge. I've picked up each time I start a video, I use the same phrase. I'll turn the camera on and I'll say, so it's occurred to me while I was mucking around out here that I've got 4 raised garden beds here that I've put in, and they've all had slightly different fills. So it's interesting So this bed here, they've all had a constant 2 layers. So the bottom layer is wood, and then the next layer is bean straw. This one though, the layer after that was stuff that I'd scraped up from the wood pile where I've been splitting, and soil and all the stuff that falls out of the logs. That came up to about there at the time. It's dropped down now obviously. And then I topped it off with some old purchased compost and garden soil that I had. So that's that bed. This bed, bottom 2 layers the same, but then I put in about 300 mil of soil out of the old garden beds that I'm dismantling out of the tyres over in the other garden. And then I topped that off with some homemade compost that I had made. So that's the process for that bed. This bed, similar, the bottom 3 layers are the same again now in here. So we've got wood, bean straw, soil, and then the top end is old chook manure out of the chook sheds. And then we move on to this last bed I did. So that's, again, bottom 3 layers now are the same as the previous 2 with the garden soil. Then there was about 4 inches or 100 millimeters of chook manure, and then the same again on top of sheep manure. The sheep manure will grow used stuff quite nicely. I'm not quite sure how the small seeds are going to go in the sheep manure, but we will see. Certainly the collies and the larger seedlings and stuff will love it. I know that from past experience. So that's just a little bit of feedback, I guess, or a bit of monitoring of the process I use for these beds. So the next bed I do will be very similar to this one. It's likely to be same bottom 3 layers, bit of sheep manure, or a bit of chook poo, then a bit of sheep manure. I just thought I'd have a look at the carrots and see how we go. So we've got carrots there now that would serve as baby carrots. So that means I may start just thinning the carrots out a little bit, which will help the onions that are sitting in alongside them to open up. I need to check the beetroot too and see how close any of that is. Can't see any bulbs down there yet, so that might be a little way off yet, but can certainly get a carrot or 2. So I have a bit of a plan. So in amongst that pallet box or ring of pallets there is where the fig tree is. Where this box is here, I think is where I'll put my next fruit tree. Not sure what that'll be yet, but that's where I'll put my next fruit tree. Then somewhere around here, I reckon, probably in line with that one, I'll put my next raised bed. I don't want to go any closer to that gate than what I am now, and I want to have enough room in between because I'm lazy and I want to be able to bring the tractor in to top up the beds and stuff. So this one here will be a row of 4 again down here, and then I'll put a walkway between them and another row of 4, and that'll allow me to get to the beds from both sides. That's the plan at this stage yet. I might modify that yet. Anyway, let's have a look at the beds. So bed 1, we've got the onions, the broad beans, the radishes I've been munching on. Get my shadow out of the way. So there's not too many radishes left in here now, but I have transplanted some of the silver beet / Swiss chard / and this one's Lexi helping. Radish, I'll have a munch on these in a minute. Whoop. They are very helpful. So the broad beans are still sneaking up through. I've transplanted some Swiss chard over to here. The onions are ticking along very nicely, so the seedling onions are looking very good. I had one of the birds, could be one of my chooks or something, I reckon. I found a couple of onion plants over here. I've transplanted them back in, but the seeded onions are looking very strong. So there's a succession of onions. Over here we have the turnips on the outside. The last couple of them are probably ready to harvest if I find someone who likes to eat turnips. Beetroot, carrots, and I've been picking a few fingerling carrots out. I'll dig some more of these and transplant them. And then in this patch here, I reckon I'll put some spring onions. The lettuce selection's nearly ready for a little pick. The parsnips are still going quite strong, and we're getting rain now, so I'm not having to water with rainwater too much. And then we go to bed 3 with the collies, and down this edge here is where I've planted the next lot of radishes. So the collies, we've got the garlic in amongst there. They're all looking very strong. The garlic's going okay. I was a bit worried it might be starting to get too shaded, but it's still looking quite good. This broccoli is pretty much finished. I will come through and I'll pick these before they open up, but they open up any more. And they'll be dinner, or I'll blanch them and freeze them. And the collies I've planted in here, and the Swiss chard slash, I think that one, I'm pretty sure they are silver beet, those ones. The collies are looking pretty good. And then no sign of the seeds coming up yet, but I wouldn't have expected it yet. The carrots are still nice and wet under there, so the idea of the cardboard is to keep the carrots wet. So that's where we are at this week. Thanks for coming along and having a look. See you later from the supervisors, and we will see you next time.